Thank you.
Thank you very much, members of the media. We just thought that it was important that we update you on where we are, starting with the fact that the National Consultative Conference started its business yesterday, as you all know, here at UJ Soweto campus. This conference of note was constituted by a delegation of about 3,270, of which 2,699 delegation are from the branches of the ANC Youth League. I think that's a very important point that we must raise. And the fact that of those, all of them come from all the 9 provinces, as you know that all our structures are up and running now. Where we are, we have been able to launch about 49 regions throughout the country since the rebuilding process started, as well as 6 provinces. The remaining 3 provinces, we have given them a green light. They will be completed soon. We also were joined in the consultative conference by 11 NEC members of the ANC, including they were led by the Secretary General, Comrade Gwede Mantashe, the Deputy Secretary General, Comrade J.C. Duarte, Comrade TG, Comrade Zolim Kiza was there, as well as other officials of the Working Committee of the African National Congress. We received messages of support from the PYA, COSAS, SASCO, and YCL, but we also received a message of support from the former liberation movements in the continent, as you might be aware. Further, the consultative conference received a message, a keynote address from President Zuma, who gave us a clear line of march in terms of all the political issues and the thinking around of the ANC, where we want to take the youth forward. The input of the President was received very well by delegates throughout, and this assisted us to ensure that we keep the spirit of delegates as they are ready now engaging in the substance of the conference. I must just pause to say that currently the session is a closed session. We are discussing the documents that we released sometimes in August, all the discussions documents here, and they are being discussed by delegates, and there will be commissions, and we'll receive report backs from commissions to ensure that we proceed. Also, as the entity, we're able to give report of our work since we took over office in April 2013. On behalf of the entity, I presented the political report. The organizational report will be presented today by Comrade Makasela to give account fully on how all these structures that I'm talking about have been rebuilt throughout the country. We also invited political education of the ANC to discuss generally strategy and tactics of the ANC so that we can equip our structures with such knowledge. And in the documents, there are a number of issues that are being looked at, which perhaps we should remind you as members of the media. These discussion documents ranges from rebuilding of the new cadre in the ANC Youth League, organizational development and renewal, because the ANC Youth League is 70 years old, it has to be renewed. We will emerge out of this meeting with a very clear program of action, almost identical with that of 1949, but much more focusing on economic freedom. As you know that this is a generational struggle that has been identified by young people. And the other point of discussion will be the national democratic revolution and social transformation, as well as issues of gender relations and women empowerment. Youth development and issues of the economy and social transformation, including international relations, are some of the issues that are being looked at in general. So from here, once we have concluded all the discussions and reported back to plenary, all the issues that have been agreed to We will then be able to call a press conference tomorrow as we close the session to give you an outcome of the deliberations, which outcome we then hope to take it to the ANC NGC as concrete proposals of the ANC Youth League on the range of issues. And I'm sure I wouldn't want to preempt the discussions that are happening the entire afternoon, but we'll be able to give you concrete issues on the economy. I know you'll be interested, the position of the Youth League on the mines, and we'll be able to give you feedback on that, on the land, and all the other critical questions. That's what we thought we should do to give you a briefing as a main. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. That's the statement prepared. You will get a copy as we will be able to finalize the printing. I think you all know how we do it. You introduce yourself in terms of the media house that you come from, and then you ask a question. We are going to take questions in a group of 5, benching them in 5, and then we'll see how it goes. Can we get some hands? You'll be the first, second, third. Okay, there are only 3 for now. We can start.
Jennifer from Southwark, 2 questions. Yesterday there were quite a few delegates that were sort of quite adamant that they wanted to vote, and they were saying they were going to push it. Has that been squashed up with those delegates? I know the President also gave an explanation to delegates why they decided not to have election. But is that idea from some delegates gone now? Has the NCC sorted that out? And the second thing, yesterday the President spoke about the organisation being shaken and in trouble. What's the feeling from the organisation? What is the context of that? Can you maybe elaborate a bit for us? Because I know it was only short. And stop.
Just on saying that the interview is not being disbanded, it was said last night that we are going to return the youth league to itself at the end of the conference. Could you just
Any other question? Can you respond?
There's another question.
Okay, yes. All right. Can you allow responses?
No, thank you very much. I think you will remember that the decision when it was taken, the ANC firstly had to take all the structures of the movement into confidence. The officials met with the chairs and secretaries of provinces. They convened an urgent NWC of the ANC, which was extended, consisting of all members of the NEC. The NTT was convened, and subsequently we convened all the regional and provincial chairs and secretaries of the Youth League, where a decision was firmed up. And then we then had to brief all our delegates. And we know that by the time delegates were coming here, there was a sense that the component of the elective was going to take place. But we were then able to explain to delegates of all the issues and concerns that we had, including what the President explained during the open session. So I don't think that there were any delegates in our view which continued with the view of wanting to vote, because there was no space for that was provided for. I think when the President was alluding to the fact that the organization is in trouble, we have been talking about the counter-revolution that is assisted by a range of players in the society, including the media, the international NGOs, and you can see how almost arrogant the opposition has become in dealing with the ANC. If you look at what is happening in Parliament, you will get a sense that indeed there are those who are hell-bent of wanting to ensure that democracy that took place on the 7th of May is not recognized. We are basically being held at ransom by those who did not get the majority of the votes. I think that's what it's meant. For us in the ANC specifically, what we need to do is then to ensure that our structures, our membership, and those that support us understand that all of us must rally behind the ANC, its leadership, and ensure that we defend it. So what you are likely what you are unlikely to see moving forward is the Youth League that is consistently antagonistic to the ANC. So basically, I think that's the essence of the message. With regard to the entity disbandment, you'll recall that when the entity was convened, the task was to build branches of the ANC. We've built not less than 4,000 branches of the ANC, not less than 49 regions of the ANC Youth League, and not less than 6 provinces of the ANC Youth League. All those structures are in place. We are today in the National Consultative Conference to deal with issues of content and shaping the direction of the organization, which basically marks the point of renewal of the organization. So in the view of the ANC, we have done our bit. What the ANC has hinted to us is that moving forward from this conference, they will assemble a team, a Congress preparatory team, not an entity. The entity has done its work, it's going to be gone after the conference, and the ANC will outline that. But what they have said to us, beyond this, what the ANC will be able to do, they'll pull leadership from provinces who have been elected. That is why we've given a green light in the remaining provinces to go to their provincial conferences so that they become part of that Congress preparatory team that is going to take us to the conference in the beginning of the year, sometimes in the first quarter, comrades. And the NEC members that are here, they are playing a number of roles, and I'm sure you would have seen all of them. For instance, as I'm talking to you now, Comrade Natim Tetwa is presenting strategy and tactics in the plenary. Other comrades have been helping us with the logistics so that we can ensure that everything goes well. So those are some of the things. They have different responsibilities. There is no one who have come here to watch whether or not there is anarchy.
Comrade Zize, are you fine?
No, I'm fine, except that from the ANC point of view, we're quite happy to see the kind of we're quite happy from the ANC point of view to see the kind of discipline displayed generally by delegates at this conference. I know that before this conference there were some issues and some narratives written somewhere that this conference will be disruptive, delegates of the Youth League will revolt against the leadership of the ANC, and I think they proved in their conduct that of course there is no possibility that the Youth League of the ANC could in whatever way possible undermine the leadership of the ANC. And I think even the small group that you saw at the end, they realized probably that indeed this is a conference of the ANC, and I think the leadership, it was important that the membership of the Youth League at the end of the day appreciated the decision of the ANC, including to an extent that the president candidly explained, went into length about the challenges facing the organization, very candid about challenges facing the Youth League of the ANC, including what informed the decision. Ordinarily, such a decision would have to be explained in a closed session. It was explained in your presence. What precipitated this kind of an explanation to the membership of the organization, although it was explained earlier through what Ms. Wandile was talking about. But the leadership of the ANC felt it's important that the president too, on behalf of the National Executive Committee, ought to explain that decision. We think that going forward, we have a strong base of a disciplined membership of the organization upon which to build a very strong, vibrant, and militant ANC Youth League. Going forward, like we said, we'll have a strong team of, firstly from the National Executive Committee of the ANC, that will assist the Youth League to convene the electoral component of the conference, which must deal with many other things in the process, including processing some of the discussions that are taking place as we speak. The policy, which must then fit to the NGC of the ANC. How do we best revitalize and renew the ANC Youth League, make it more radical, militant, a youth league that is organizing, that is campaign-based. And I think that is a youth league that what we see here, that the delegates of the Youth League and membership of the Youth League are appreciating, that we need a different youth league. A youth league that the president referred to, that any young person must feel attracted to the youth league. And I think that is a brand that coming out of this consultative conference, the youth league will be that youth league that the president outlined yesterday. We're quite excited, we're quite happy as the ANC that it has come to this point. And I think going forward, working with the youth league, working with all other structures, we now have a focused program of how best we build the ANC Youth League.
Can we get follow-ups in the last round of questions? Maria? You're the only one.
Maria from ANCYL. The
It is not the function and the responsibility of the ANC leadership who leads the Youth League at the end of the day. It's the matter of the delegates and membership of the Youth League. Our interest and the direct interest in the Youth League is to see a very vibrant and a lively ANC Youth League. So we won't be taking and answer whispers and issues that come from corner talks that we must confirm them whether indeed are true or not. But from the point of view of what we explained yesterday by the President, for us is what I think is a reliable authority from a point of view of journalism who can rely on why the decision was taken. Any other thing is just malicious.
Yeah. Let me just add that Comrade Pulemabe is a member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, which is the highest decision-making body. He is a member of parliament. It sounds very suspicious, your question. I think that it might be concocted somewhere in the media that the president or the ANC might want to exclude those who are leading the ANC, who are qualifying to lead the Youth League. And we've explained this over and over, including Comrade Makasela, that any person who can vote can also be voted in the ANC Youth League. So if you meet the age, you could stand. The fact that the conference has been postponed has nothing to do, as Comrade is explaining, with any individual. But it's a political decision on the basis of having looked into a number of issues which the President was able to articulate. So it has nothing to do with anyone. Comrade Pule is a leader in the ANC now. He's a former leader of the ANC Youth League and is still here.
It's like the matter of the disbandment, which also nobody spoke about disbandment, but the media spoke about it as if it was a main thing. So somehow that's the issue. I'm sure we have covered all the questions that we needed. We'll give you the last bite because we are generous today.
Let's go back to session.
Just on the issue that you already raised about counter-negotiating with your especially arrogant. It seems to me that you are surprised that the ANC is losing the moral authority in the country. You know, you tell us you are not disbanded. The president comes last night and said he can allow 2 meetings in one. So clearly the decision was forced. You know, you seem not to appreciate that what you tell us is not always the truth. You know, what is your analysis from the youth's point of view and the ANC's point of view of the kind of moral authority that you as the party, you know, should be enjoying in the public space?
Look, I'm sure we can have a lot of discussion about it. We have tested the moral authority of the ANC, not only in the membership, which is 1.4 million, but we've tested it in South Africans. You know that in South Africa, 25 million people are registered to vote. 18 million have gone to vote on the 7th of May, and 11 million of those have voted for the African National Congress. If you ask me the moral standing of the ANC, you'll find the answer there. And I don't think that there's confusion. Perhaps we should help you to listen. When the President was referring to 2 structures, he was referring to the situation that had occurred in the Eastern Cape, which we have dealt with, where there was a potential existence of 2 structures. So he never referred to the entity or anything. So I think that your question is misguided. And the issues that we are raising here is that generally there is a trend that politically we are noticing that we know that politics is a contested terrain, but there is a coordinated fashion in which all forces are moving towards working against the ANC. That's why we said that the unity of the ANC is important for all of us, and that's the point that we are consistently raising.
Fine, okay. I think we are, no, he says it's covered by Committee Mzwandile.
I'm also the leader of the ANC, so
All right.
we...
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. Let's go back. We are going back to the closed session where discussions are actually going to be taking place and continuing. Tomorrow, when we close conference, we'll also have another presser, particularly around this time, which will be announced in the morning. Thank you.